I've used the term pulp in the past to describe certain characters that are obviously pulp influenced. The Beastmaster and Conan the Barbarian. But what if there was actually a movie that was so defiant that the word it's so defiant of the word that it actually transcended popular culture and is infinitely quotable? Pulp Fiction for 1994, directed by the one and only Quentin Tarantino. Critics and audiences worldwide hailed Pulp Fiction as a star-studded motion picture that redefined cinema in the 20th century. Seven-time Academy Award nominated, including Best Picture of '94, is considered one of American Film Institute's 100 greatest movies of all time, and is hosted on Time Magazine's all-time 100 best films. It has been called quite simply the most exhilarating piece of filmmaking to come along in the decades, says Owen Gleiberman, Entertainment Weekly, and unquestionably the most influential American movie of the 1990s, says Richard Corliss of Time. Writer-director Quentin Tarantino, Academy Award winner Best Original Screenplay '94, delivers an unforgettable cast of characters, including a pair of low-rent hitmen, John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson, and Boss's sexy wife Uma Thurman, and a desperate prizefighter Bruce Willis, in a wildly entertaining and exhilarating motion picture adventure that both thrills and amuses. Work of blazing originality. It places Quentin Tarantino on the front ranks of American filmmakers, says the New York Times. Oh yeah. Now it's been a long time since I've seen this movie. Easily a good 12 years. I just I'm reviewing these for a buddy of mine for A. That's all I'm gonna say. And he's recommended me some good stuff, but holy smokes, I just forgot how long some of the ones he suggested are. You know what? That's fine, because every single frame, every single piece of film, every single little square of the film reel is just freaking phenomenal. I mean, what makes this stand out is that this was an $8 million production, and it it kind of reintroduced, it made the independent movie become amongst the zeitgeist again. Like, people started to understand and appreciate it more, saying, hey, this is something completely new, because it's not just a linear story, it's multiple pieces that are coming together. A plate, if you will, Plait. That's like three different strands coming together, or more even. And that's exactly what's going on here. This multi-helix story working together. Whether if it's whether if it is John Travolta taking Uma Thurman on a date at Jack Rabbit Slim's, whether if it's the dealing with the pawn shop scene that we all know what it is and contains the legendary lines, whether if it's the restaurant robbery, or heck, even going out with the boxing scene, or even one I completely forgot about, the taxi driving. It's just brilliant. I mean, I'm just gushing about this movie. It's like, alright, let's see what makes this work. Well, it's such a character-based movie, especially with Bruce Willis, John Travolta, and Samuel L. No snakes in this movie, Jackson. So obviously we have the two who are being hitmen that are on the rise, saying, hey, let's just stop being hitmen and let's just have ourselves change. Because when two were inside Brett's apartment, they were about to get fired upon by some bullets, but they missed, and Vincent viewed it as coincidence, but of course Jules viewed it as divine intervention and actually started to become more believing in God and everything. So we get to see them change, and of course, this is after they handle the deceased person in the car, because Vincent was an idiot and had the safety off and shot a person in the head in the car. What an absolute moron. I'm thinking to myself, you gotta be one dumb person to do that. So they look like a couple of dorks with some really short shorts, and they look like they're about ready to play volleyball. It's just such a freaking great scene. But yeah, I personally like the interplay, I guess, between Willis and Ving Rhames. Um, Obviously, Rhames paid Willis to go down during the fifth round of a boxing match. He doesn't, and so he jets off. He gets away until they run into each other in the street. Then they go inside I think this is my personal favorite scene, inside the pawn shop. Infinitely quotable. I'm sorry, it's just, I'm about to get medieval on his butt. Oh my word. And of course, I was thinking, when I was younger, I was thinking, okay, so he has a hammer, he has a chainsaw, and something else. Why is he grabbing a sword? Then you realize Bushido, the way of the samurai, having a code of being like more righteous than those perverts that between the Zed and Maynard. And there's also a gimp that was very interesting. I'm like, yeah, this is a movie definitely for adults, just with the way how it works out so well. Yeah. Of course, you have the Jackrabbit Slim scene, in which Uma Thurman and John Travolta are dancing, and you know, I mean, everything in here, it just truly transcended, it redefined pop culture for the 1990s. It was a breath of fresh air. After Quentin Tarantino did Reservoir Dogs, haven't seen that one, but yeah. What else? I mean, what else can I say? Oh, the music, having Jungle Boogie and also Dick Dale and the Deltones play that one song, song in the opening credits. It just works so well. It just adds to the whole unbelievable, fantastic, freaking atmosphere. This overall tone of this movie of both being absolutely funny. I don't want to say slice of life, kind of drama-ish, kind of pulpy. So say what you will about that. It's just so good. For me, of course, there's a joke that every time that Vincent goes to the bathroom, something bad happens. First time is probably the most famous for me, was when he comes out of Willis's bathroom in the apartment and notices a really freaking massive firearm. It's just, they just look at each other because it's just so cool. Sometimes, in my opinion, the best comedy is done without words, just with like facial expressions. And he just pelts them with bullets. So funny. I had to actually hold back some laughter. Yeah. I guess probably, maybe some people would call this overrated. Do I think it is? Well, 2 million people have given a rating on the IMDb. Yeah, maybe a little overrated and maybe a little violent. But then again, movies are about pushing the boundaries and getting people to accept certain things, and how movies can change people's perception and opinions and things like that. And this movie launched Samuel L. Jackson's career. It was already known, but kind of just needed that big push. Bruce Willis was giving us some box office bombs, and after Die Hard, eventually was like, okay, this revived his career. He eventually went on to work with M. Night Shyamalan and John Travolta, who hadn't really been doing anything that much. Mr. Saturday Night Fever stars in the legendary scene here. Harvey Keitel portrays Winston Wolfe. He's almost 90 years old. And of course, you also held David Carradine, like, for one last run. Was at Kill Bill Volume 2. So yeah, and of course Quentin Tarantino is here as Jimmy, and it's like, it works out very well. I think that this is probably one of the best gosh darn movies that people should view. And it's like, yeah, obviously it also helps to have Uma Thurman on the cover right here. You're just thinking, that is a nice woman right there. Yeah, she got the firearms, she got the book right there, the cigarettes, and I'm thinking, yeah, Although I don't remember seeing Christopher Walken in here. It's the only one I couldn't find, so yeah. So say what you will about that. Do I recommend that you watch Pulp Fiction? Yes.